Winter of 1933 was colder than most in Mill Creek, a quiet little town tucked in the weary heart of Depression-era America. The chill wasn't just in the snow-covered rooftops or the wind howling through wooden shutters. It was in the silence of empty dinner tables, in the worn-out boots of men searching for work, and in the sighs of mothers trying to stretch a penny into a meal. At the edge of town, down a dirt road lined with sagging fences, stood a crooked wooden house. Inside lived Ruth, a widow, and her 12-year-old son, Ben. He was skinny, his clothes patched, and his shoes barely held together. But his eyes still held the brightness of a dream. Ben didn't have much. No shiny toys, no warm meals waiting after school, and certainly no bicycle. But he had a dream, a big one, to ride, to pedal down the streets with the wind in his hair and hope in his chest, to feel like he was moving forward even when the world stood still. One Sunday afternoon, as he passed by the church, Ben heard an announcement. There would be a bicycle race for the town's children. The prize? A brand new red Schwinn bicycle. Gleaming, glorious. Ben's heart leapt. He ran home, breathless. "Mama, I want to race," he said. Ruth looked at him, her boy with scraped elbows and a threadbare jacket, and then out the window at the broken bicycle frame lying by the shed. She didn't say no. She simply placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "If you believe in your heart, your feet will find the way." Ben's bike was a collection of salvaged parts. Rusted frame, bent wheel, no brakes, one pedal replaced with a block of wood tied on with cloth. But to Ben, it was enough. It was a beginning. Every morning before sunrise, Ben took the bike down the dirt road behind their house and practiced. He fell. He bled. He cried, sometimes from pain, sometimes from cold. But he got back up, day after day, pedal after pedal. Neighbors shook their heads. "That boy thinks he can win with that pile of junk?" Ben didn't answer. He just kept riding. At night, Ruth would wash the mud from his clothes, patch up his scrapes, and hand him a piece of burnt toast. "Tomorrow will be better," she said. Race day arrived. The sky was clear, the air sharp. Families gathered near the old train depot. Children brought polished bike shiny handlebars, pumped tires, fresh paint. And then there was Ben, pushing his crooked bike through the crowd, chin held high. Some boys laughed. One whispered, "He won't even make it halfway." Ben said nothing. He just stared at the starting line. When the whistle blew, the others shot forward. Ben's bike creaked and wobbled. He was last almost instantly, but he didn't stop. One lap, then two. The fast boys started to tire. One fell. Another dropped his chain. Ben, steady as ever, kept going. His bike groaned, but his legs burned with purpose. He crossed the finish line in third place. No cheers, no applause, but Ben smiled because he had finished. And in his heart, that mattered more than winning. From the crowd, a man stepped forward. Mr. Evans, the sponsor of the race. He looked at Ben, then at the twisted metal that had carried him. "Son," he said, "that might be the worst bike I've ever seen, but it carried the strongest rider I've ever met." He turned to the officials and pointed at the red Schwinn. "Give it to this boy." There was silence, then clapping. Gentle, respectful, real. That night, Ben sat on the porch with the new Schwinn by his side. He looked at his old bike, rusty, bent, beaten, but smiled. It would never ride again, but it had already taken him farther than any perfect bike ever could. From that day on, Ben wasn't just the poor kid with the broken bike. He was the boy who didn't quit,